Hi everyone, welcome back to The Brave and the Boys. I'm your host Jake, and today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite comic book series of all time. That is Neil Gaiman's Sandman. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the different ways to collect it, so if you have ever been wanting to get into Sandman, this will be a great resource to show you the different ways to collect it. So, let's dive in.
Deep within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden beneath its murky waters, lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time. The Legion of Doom.
Sandman first debuted in 1989 and ran for 75 issues until 1996. It tells the story of Dream, one of the seven endless, who embody different aspects of human existence. Dream is the Lord of Dreams and rules over the realm of the dreaming, where all dreams and nightmares come from. The series blends mythology, horror, and fantasy into a unique and unforgettable experience. It's known for its complex characters, intricate plot lines, and stunning artwork by a rotating cast of talented artists. Sandman has won numerous awards, including a Hugo, a Bram Stoker, and multiple Eisners. It has been praised for its literary merit, its groundbreaking representation of gender and sexuality, and its exploration of themes like death, love, and the power of stories. And it's not just critics who love Sandman, fans around the world have embraced the series and made it a cornerstone of the comic book medium. So, now that you know a little bit about Sandman, let's dive in and talk about the different ways to collect them and see what's best for you. Let's start with the single issue comic book. This is the most expensive and hardest way to collect Sandman. As you can see, I only have a facsimile edition of #1. That's a replication. Because an original comic of Sandman #1 is a little too rare and expensive. So if I ever get a Patreon, you guys start, giving me some money, maybe I could afford one someday. If you're a serious collector or completionist, this is probably the way to go. It's going to give you the original ads, you get the original coloring, but it is going to be the hardest way to collect it. So how about we go to an easier way to collect it, and that would be the trade paperback. Next up are the trade paperbacks. These collect several issues of the comic in a more affordable way to collect the series. You can buy fat trades that collect more issues, or the most simple and easy way is the 10-book box set that this is from. So thank you, Tom, for letting me borrow this. The paperbacks are going to be the same dimensions as a regular comic book. So you can see there, it's going to give you that same authentic experience. 10 trades for the box set would be all of Sandman. That'd be the original 75 issues. But if you want the extras, make sure to pick up a trade of Death and Sandman Overture. One thing I want to say is that DC does have a standard size hardcover that would be the same dimensions and the same amount of issues as this, but at a hardcover, but that hasn't been sold since 1996. If you want something a little more deluxe, we'll look at the Deluxe Editions. Next up, we have the oversized Deluxe Edition, which is another option for collectors. This format offers larger dimensions and beautifully showcases the artwork. If you really want to make a statement on your bookshelf, you might want to go for something like this. This is an oversized hardcover, so if you want to compare it to the dimensions of the trade or the individual issue, it's bigger and shows off more of the art. It usually collects the equivalent to about 2 trades, and with the larger size, it really lets the artwork shine. Deluxe editions also usually contain more additional content like behind the scenes sketches or commentary from the creators. The Deluxe Edition strikes a balance between affordability and presentation, making them a popular choice among fans. To collect Sandman entirely, in Deluxe it would be 5 Deluxes, and then a Deluxe of Overture and a Deluxe of Death. Next up, let's go to a lot more bang for your buck, and that is going to be our fans' favorite, the Omnibus. Next up, we have the Omnibus. As you can see, it's a lot more bang for your buck. The Omnibus is going to be the same dimensions as the Deluxe Oversize, but it's going to contain, as you can see, a lot more issues. It's a hefty tome, but it's worth it to have the entire story in one place. So instead of 5 Deluxe editions for the main story, it would be 2 omnibuses. So this collects Sandman 1 through 16 and Sandman Midnight Theater for a total of 17 issues. While this omnibus collects the Sandman 1 through 37, the Sandman Special #1, which is the first half of Neil Gaiman's acclaimed horror classic. To collect the omnibus route, it would be 2 omnis for the initial run, and then a 3rd omnibus, which would have the additional stories, as well as collecting Death and Overture. I love the design of this omnibus. It's like a big leather Bible. It was almost the format that I went with and the one that I recommended Jordan go with, but for me, I went with the Absolute. So let's look at that one next. Now let's talk about my personal favorite, the Absolute Edition. This is the largest in dimension and comes with oversized art and a gorgeous slipcase. Comparing it to the individual issue, it is massive. While these collect fewer issues than an omnibus edition, it's going to be the most premium option, perfect for those who appreciate the art and the presentation. I chose to go the absolute route because I believe it's the ultimate way to experience Sandman. This is an even larger size than the deluxe edition or the omnibus in terms of dimension, so as you can see here, it's a lot bigger. It does collect less issues than this omnibus, but I think it makes up for it in how much bigger it is. It's going to contain the largest artwork. It's gonna have a nice ribbon for a bookmark, and it's gonna have the most bonus content like sketches and even full scripts. While you would need 3 Omnis to collect it, it would be 5 Absolutes, 4 for the main series, 1 for the extras, and then Absolute Death and Absolute Overture, which I own all of. And finally, just for fun, let's talk about a special edition known as Annotated Sandman. I wasn't sure if I was gonna add in Annotated Sandman because it's kind of, I would say, more for college students or people that want a deeper experience. It's less about reading the story for the first time and more about getting the context of the story. So as you can see, it's a lot wider than an individual comic book, but if you open it up, it's actually the same dimensions as the original comic book with annotations on both sides. So it's gonna give you more context behind the history, the storytelling, and all of that good stuff. So if we open it up, you can see here, it's not in color, it's in black and white, and it's gonna give you all of his notes on the side. So if you love Sandman and you wanna dive back in and learn a lot more about it, this is kind of the way to go. So we've kind of looked over all the different editions. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you read and enjoy this incredible story regardless of the format. The Absolute might be the fanciest, the Omnibus might be the biggest, the Annotated has the most annotations, but at the end of the day, however you read Sandman is perfect. I think a good way to start is the deluxe edition. I mean, I'm blown away at how they look. I'm gonna have a link down below for Amazon if you guys wanna pick it up, but I'd recommend getting it on in-stock trades. Please sponsor me. So from single issues to absolutes, there's an option for every type of collector and fan. Guys, thanks for watching, and remember, subscribe, like, and stay brave.